Who's ready for a little more stretching? Hi everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our Ginger's Kitchen bench pillow with our sponsor Binded by Stitches. Didn't they do a great job? Wow, so we already have all of section 1 complete. Woohoo, look at that. I love seeing it in the Cristin Creates Facebook group. You guys are doing amazing. And then we also have our tree cookie block for section 2, and we did a special monogram or other stretch exercise for a filler block. And then we also have a pinwheel block for later, an extra pinwheel block. So we are just jamming along, doing great. So today we are going to do 2 blocks. I'm going to do them in one hooping. I believe I'm using my 9x14 hoop, but you can do these separately. You can save one for a little bit later if you've got a busy day, whatever works for you. But I'm going to get 2 in one hooping, and on one of them I'm going to do a little stretch. All right, so let's go over what we're going to do for today. So we're going to start with Gingerbread Girl. Gingerbread Girl is on page 7 of our booklet. All right, so grab your packet if you made packets. And let's talk about what we need for this one. So the first one is our main fabric. So our main fabric, the original one, is this green black with red plaid on it. But the substitute from our sponsor, if you ordered recently, is the green, which I call it the starburst, sunburst. I don't remember. It's something similar to that, but I don't remember. Anyway, so either one. This is the old one from years ago if you bought the fabric kit from years ago, or from our sponsor, we have this as a substitute, and either one will be great. All right, so we are going to start with this at 8.5 by 10.5. This is a really big fabric, so make sure that you are backing it with fusible stabilizer. All right, I use the Kimberbell fusible backing. SF101 works as well. That was recently asked in our Cristin Creates group. Whatever fusible stabilizer that you like will work great, but make sure to back it with fusible stabilizer so you don't get any puckering. All right, so 8.5 by 10.5 on this big one. All right, that's our main fabric. And then for the cookie, we're going to do that Gingerbread Girl cookie. The original one is this brown lattice, and our sponsor sent me this brown starburst. So you may have received this one as a substitute. Either one of these will work great. And we're going to have this be 5.5 by 8. 5.5 by 8. All right, and I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's optional. This is an applique piece. I like to do it on my applique pieces, but that one, it's the main fabric that you definitely want to do. This one is totally optional, up to you. I find it makes it a lot easier to cut, and it keeps it really well stabilized. So again, either the starburst one or the lattice, either one, 5.5 by 8. All right. And then we want our batting. So our batting today is going to be 7 by 9. 7 by 9 for our batting. And I don't think I chose, oh, I did, good. Phew, I thought I didn't choose a quilting design. So batting 7 by 9, and then we are going to quilt this in the hoop. And I'm going to use Christmas 1. If I recall, I think that's the one that's got the gingerbread on it. So that makes sense that I would choose that one. So any quilting design that you want, though, that is 6 by 8. 6 by 8 for your quilting design, whatever one you want. I'm going to use Christmas 1. All right, and then one other thing that might be in your packet is the red organza. We're actually not going to use this until later. It's basically an embellishment after we quilt our, after we finish putting it all together. We're going to add this on as an embellishment, but I did have mine in my packet, so you could have put it with your embellishment packet or with your gingerbread, but either way, we're not going to do this until later. It says organza skirt, rickrack, and buttons will be added after quilting. All right, so it's funny that I had this piece in my packet, but not the other embellishments. So anyway, don't worry about that for now. I'm going to put it in my embellishment pack. And then we have one more block we're going to work on today. Optional if you choose to do it now, or maybe give yourself a day, whatever works, but I'll talk about that one in just a second. All right, and then one more block today, just an easy one. It's a border block, so it's a pretty big one though. So this one is, which number? I don't know if I remember. I don't think I wrote down what number we're doing. It is number 6. So border block number 6, and they're not numbered in the book, so you're not going to know, but it's my own personal number. And actually I have a diagram at the end of the video. I've been adding it at the end of every video. It shows which ones are which for the border blocks. So border block number 6, and the original fabric is this white with multi dots on it. And if you have that one from the original or from our sponsor, they sent a white snowflakes. Can you see that? There we go. So see those snowflakes in there? So that's the substitute. Either one will work. And in the book, it'll tell you to cut it 2.5 by 8, and that will work. 2.5 by 8.5, sorry, not by 8. 2.5 by 8.5, that will work. Or my recommendation is cut it 3 by 9. All right, 3 by 9. That's my recommendation. It gives it so that you've got a little bit of room, because we're going to quilt this and I'm going to add to it. I'm going to add some embroidery onto it, which is totally optional. You can leave it as is, just do some quilting on it, or you can add to it because it's a pretty big block and it's not super busy. That's why I wanted to add to this one. So 3 by 9 is my recommendation, but if you already cut before the prep video and you have 2.5 by 8.5, that will work too. All right, we are going to finish it off to 2.5 by 8.5, so we will cut it, but this will make it so that we get that tack down stitch, the basting stitch all the way around it. All right, and then we'll use that as our cut guide. All right, so this one or this one, either one for border block number 6. And then for our batting, we want to have a piece of batting that is 3 by 9. All right, 3 by 9 for your batting. Okay, and then I'm going to quilt this one with lines 1. I wanted something super simple that's not going to stand out because I'm adding wording to this block. So think about what you want to do. If you want to just do quilting, you can do a busier quilting design, or you can do lines 1, whatever works for you. Any quilting design that you want that is 2 by 8. All right, 2 by 8 quilting design today on this border block number 6. And then I'm going to bring you over to the computer and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to my block, and you can start thinking of what you'd like to do. So what I'm going to do, I will tell you, for those that have made a donation to the Cristin Creates channel, I'm going to send you this design that I have made on my computer on Embellishment Essentials. Again, you can do whatever you want with your border block, but for those that have already sent a donation to support the tutorials, I'm going to go ahead and just send this to you. There's 2 versions. There's one with just words, or there's one with a gingerbread on it. And if you have purchased the gingerbread from SewChaCha, you need to send me a screenshot and tell me that you bought it. We bought it before for whisk. A bunch of us bought it for whisk. So you may already have it. And again, send me a screenshot telling me that you have it and I'll add that. Or you can do just the wording. Either one. I'll send one or the other depending on what works for you. Make sure that I know your email address so I can send it to you. If you've already made a donation and I've already reached out to you, then you know I have it. I've got your email address, but I need your email address and I need the format that your machine uses so that I can send you this file. And again, it's to those that have made a donation. I'll add a link here to PayPal. You can do PayPal or Venmo, whatever works, to send a donation in to support our tutorials. And for those that have already done this, I'm going to go ahead and send this to you. And I'm going to send you just the Word file, but if you want the gingerbread on it as well, you got to show me that you've purchased that, because that's not my design. That's from SewChaCha. So I'm going to bring you over to the computer now and show you what I'm talking about and give you some ideas of how you want to embellish your border block if you choose. Anyway, make sure to move that ginger girl. So even if you don't usually watch the embellishments part of the tutorials, at least watch this part so that you're knowing exactly where to move your ginger. All right. Hey everyone, I'm at my computer now and I'm going to quickly show you how to merge these 2 blocks together and show you what I'm going to do to that border block. So I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials. That is the embroidery software that I use and I recommend. It is going to tell me I should update and I don't want to update, so give it just a second here. All right, it looks like it didn't tell me. We're free. All right, so I'm going to move this over here. Okay, so start off with your hoop size. So I'm on my 10 by 10 hoop. That's because I was working on a different project last night. I'm going to use my 9 by 14 hoop. So I'm going to go up here to this preferences folder, click on that, and I'm going to choose my 9 by 14 hoop. Let's see right there, click OK, and then I like to click this compass button and click H for hoop so it zooms into the hoop. All right, and you can always see your hoop size right down here. So I'm going to start by bringing in the gingerbread girl. I'm going to bring in the quilting first. So I'm going to go to this merge stitch file. And let's see, I guess I'll do it that way. I showed the other way the other day. So, all right, so merge stitch file, and then it's just asking, where's this file that you want me to open up? So I'm going to tell it to go to my desktop, which is where I have my quilting designs for Whisk, and I'm opening Christmas 1 block by block. Pez is what I use for my machine, and I want the 6 by 8 quilting design. So I'm going to just scroll down here and right there, 6 by 8, double click on that, goes to the center. I think I have to think about this. I did this. Oh, I think I had to turn it maybe. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and just click it. I'm going to click on that design and bring it up to the top for now. I don't remember. I already tested this, but it was a couple of days ago. All right, so that's the first thing. I'm going to also bring in the quilting design for the border block next. So I'm going to go back to this merge stitch file. Excuse me. And I'm going to look for the lines 1. That's the one I'm using. And lines 1, embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and we want the 2 by 8 design, and I think it's probably the vertical. Let's see. Excuse me. All right, 2 by 8. So there's the horizontal. You can see that that's if you're doing the short version. I'm doing the long version. So I want the lines 1 in vertical. I'm going to double click on that. It goes to the center, and I'm going to rotate it. All right, and let's see, I think I can just, yeah, I'm going to click this left rotate button, and then I'm going to click outside and click back on that design. You have to click on it to be able to, after you rotate it, it doesn't let you just click on it and start moving it down. All right, so now I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard to move it down to the bottom. It doesn't have to be too close, we have plenty of room. All right, so that works out really well. And again, I'm in my 9 by 14 hoop. If your biggest hoop is smaller than that, you can do these in 2 separate hoopings, whatever works. But keep in mind that this 2 by 8 design, it would actually be 2.5 by 8.5, so it doesn't fit in your 8 by 12 hoop this way. You would have to turn it the opposite way, and you could do that in your 6 by 10 hoop, whatever works. All right, so we have all those default blues and oranges as always, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly change these so that I can do a color sort. Excuse me. So someone asked me the other day if you get all of this done and the color sort isn't what you wanted, then you want to make sure to go back to that first tab. And so I'll show you that when we get there. So we're on tab 1 right now, but after we get everything in here and we do a color sort, it will create another tab, and that's the one that you check it and make sure. And if anything's not right, then you just go back to your first tab, because that has all the originals there, and then redo the step-by-step part. All right, so I'm in 1-1. I'm going to click on that, click on the color, and I'm going to change it to the first color that comes up for me, which is dark aqua. Say okay, and I'm on Fil-Tec Glide, that's why dark aqua comes up for me. 1-2, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Blaze, first color that comes up for me. 1-3, click on the color, and I want the second color down because I already used dark aqua, so I'm going to use Marine and say okay. And then 1-4, click on the color. I don't want Blaze because I already used that. You can always see them right up here. I'm going to use the second color down, which is Oriole. All right, and then 1-5. So the first one is on that green fabric and the second one is on a white fabric. So I don't want these to join. I want them to be different unless I used like a light gray or something, but I'm going to have that option later. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. So I'm on 1-5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the first color, which is Sprout. All right, that one's done. Now I'm going to go and do the same thing on the next one using the same colors except for that last one because I don't want that to join. So 2-1, click on the color. I want dark aqua. 2, click on the color. I want Blaze. Again, you can always see the colors right up here if you forget. 2, 3, click on the color. I want Marine. 2, 4, click on the color. I want Oriole. And then 2, 5, click on the color, and I want the next color down, which is for me sea green. All right, so those are done. Those will be able to join later and have it be all great, no problems. All right, and then we're gonna bring in the gingerbread girl design. So I'm gonna go to merge stitch file. You can do it that way or by opening the folder like I showed in yesterday's video. All right, and I'm just gonna close up these quilting designs, and I want the embroidery files and Pez, and I want the gingerbread. So it's a bigger design, I believe, 5 by 7. Right there, gingerbread girl, right there. So double click on that, it'll go to the center. Hey everyone, I am heading out on a hike, so excuse the attire, but I realized I made a mistake on my ginger girl, and so I'm going to redo my ginger girl, and I want to point this out to you because it's extremely important. So remember that this project was made by Kimberbell before they made quilting, and so when they quilted it, they did probably a long arm quilter. They didn't quilt in the hoop. And so the directions are a little bit different now that we do quilting in the hoop, and I didn't catch it on this one. So I'll show you here. So see how I aligned and distributed my ginger girl with the block, with the quilting, and so now it is not on the edge. So we need to align this in a way that it is bringing our ginger girl all the way over to the edge. And so I'm just going to very quickly show you how to do that. It's really easy. You can do it either in Embellishment Essentials or you can do it on your machine. So this video will be a little bit different in that parts of it will be from before and parts will be from now, and with a lot of editing. So excuse the mistake. So I've already got my quilting design open up. And on the previous video, it's got the second one, which we'll edit that part later, don't worry. But this first one, so this is the ginger quilting that I'm using. It's the 6 by 8 quilting design. And I'm just gonna bring in that ginger girl and very quickly show you how to move it. And again, you can do it on your machine or you can do it on Embellishment Essentials. Either way will work fine. So I'm gonna go to merge stitch file and I'm going to find the ginger girl design. And we're just going to quickly move it over. So right there, ginger girl, double click on that. It will go to the center. And on the previous video that I made, I aligned and distributed it within the block, which we often do for our blocks. But on this one, we definitely don't. We want this ginger girl peeking out from the left-hand corner. So one thing I want to point out is that Kimberbell made this, if I click on the design, the very first part of the design right there, this blue line, I thought it would be used to line it up, but actually it doesn't really work. So I just want to point that out. Don't line it up with that line, and I'll show you how to do it. So when you move your gingerbread, make sure that you have all of the parts of the design. So right now I just have that blue line. So if I were to try and move it, it's going to move just that blue line. So make sure that you have the entire design, and you can do that by clicking on the very first part, this ginger girl. All right, and then I'm just going to quickly move her. So click on the stitching and then move her, and it's easier if you zoom in first. I'll see how close I get and then go from there. So I'm going to zoom in. So you can either zoom in and then move these buttons around, or you can use this, the compass button, and then move this crosshair to where you want to zoom in. So if I go down here and then I use my mouse to zoom in, that's a really easy way to get exactly where you want on the design. So this is what I was saying. So right now it's perfect. Mine's exactly where I want it to be. But I just want to point out, I'm going to move it again just to show you. So if I took this design and I lined it up here with the, okay, so let me point out first. So this right here, this line right here, this is our placement and tack down of our batting. And this outer line right here, I'll click outside so you can see it better. So inner line is the placement and tack down of the batting. Outer line is the placement and tack down of the main fabric. We want to line up our ginger girl with this inner, the orange inner line, the placement and tack down of the batting. All right, so if I click on my design and I move it, so say I use this blue line and line it up, that's what I initially thought would work. All right. So if I click outside, you can see. So I'm lined up on that placement and tack down of the batting, but look at my ginger girl is not. She's still, what, about 1/8 of an inch in. And this is our 1/4 inch seam allowance right here from our batting to our main fabric. So we want it lined up right on there. We want it right on that edge of this design. So I'm going to take it again and I'm going to click the design and I'm going to line it up with that the green or teal line. So I'm going to just show you here. All right, so this is the line I was talking about. It looks like it's probably white actually. So this line right here is what you want to line up with that placement and tack down of the batting. Ignore this blue line. I'm not really sure the purpose of this. I'm sure it had something to do with before the quilting because they didn't have the quilting at the time. So either way, line this line up here. All right, you could use the orange line here. It's brown actually, this brown from the ginger girl, or you can use this white. Either way, you want it to line up on that placement and tack down of the batting. And I'm going to move it out of the way again so you can see it one more time. It's this one, all right? This inner line here is what we want to line our ginger girl up with. So click on the whole design, bring it over, and line it up within that line there. All right, very easy to do. And again, you can do it on the machine as well if you're more savvy with using your machine. That works fine. So you just want to make sure that that ginger girl is way over in the corner, and then we don't have to worry about cutting later. It will be already lined up just right with our quilting. All right, so super important. Make sure that you do that before you start stitching anything. I'm going to have to restitch my cute little ginger girl because she is off center. Maybe I'll save it and use it for something else. I don't know, but anyway, make sure to move that ginger girl. So even if you don't usually watch the Embrilliance part of the tutorials, at least watch this part so that you're knowing exactly where to move your ginger. All right, I hope that helps. Time for a hike. Great. All right, that's the first one. Now the second one, let's see here. I gotta see what colors we've got here. So blue goes to all good. They're all different colors, so we don't need to worry about our color sort. That's perfect. All right, now what I want to do on here is I should just show you what I already did. So whatever you want to do on this, sorry, I'm getting a call. Whatever you want to do on that border block is great. I'm adding wording, and I want it to say Gingerbread Bakery. That's what I did. So whatever font that you have at your disposal, you can even use the fonts that are embedded in the program. But I am going to use, I'm going to have mine say Gingerbread Bakery. And I already did this. So I'm going to open up a new page, file, new page. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. So you can see, I'll zoom in on it. So I did Gingerbread Bakery. I think that's super cute. And then I also did it, sorry, I zoomed in a lot. I also did it with the gingerbread from SewChaCha. So like I said, for those that made a donation to the Cristin Creates tutorials during the time of this project, I will send you this wording file that I created. And if you've purchased the gingerbread from SewChaCha, send me a screenshot showing me that you purchased that, and I'll add that on there as well. It will not include the quilting design, of course. That's from Kimberbell. It's just the wording and or the gingerbread. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to highlight the quilting here because I've already got it on that other file. I'm going to say delete, and I'm just going to choose this, and I'm going to say Control-C to copy it, and I'm going to bring it over to my design here. I'm going to say Control-V, and then of course I have to bring it all the way down to that quilting design. It fits in so perfectly with that 2.5 by 8.5 quilting design. I think that's so cute. All right, and I'm going to move it over, and I'm not going to try and line it up just right. I think I'll do it the official way just to make sure that it's right. So I'm going to click on number 2, the quilting design, and click the control button and click on this gingerbread design, and I'm going to say utility, align and distribute, center, center. It'll center it right within that block. Perfect. Close. All right, so that was super easy. How cute is that? I think that'll be so fun. So whatever you choose to do for your border block, great. And for those that have already made a donation, I will already send that out to you. Just the wording file, not the quilting and not the gingerbread. So if you want the gingerbread on there, you have to purchase that from SewChaCha on Etsy and send me a screenshot letting me know. All right, and hopefully I've already got your information for your email address and your the format your embroidery machine uses. So this is done, except we still have to do that color sort. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, we've got the colors good. I think we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and try it. All right, so I'm going to go to Utility Color Sort. Now this is what I was telling you about. There's 2 tabs. I have 2 because of this gingerbread, but so ignore that one. So on this first tab, I'm going to say Utility Color Sort, and it thinks, and it's reduced it by 5 color changes because of that batting. That's what the 5 steps of the quilting design is what was reduced. So I'm going to click New View. Always click New View and watch. It'll make a 3rd tab. For you, it'll be a 2nd tab. All right, and then everything's merged together in one hooping. All right, so in one design. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up and just check it real quick. So there we have the placement stitch on both of the designs for the batting, the tack down stitch of the batting, the placement stitch for the main fabric on both of those, the tack down stitch for both of them, it's a basting stitch, the quilting design on the first one and the quilting design on the second one. And then we have the beginning of the gingerbread girl design. So I want to point this out, this design here, we're not going to need this because we're quilting in the hoop, so I'll show everybody to bypass it. But that is to be able to line it up correctly within the block, which when we're quilting in the hoop, it's doing that for us anyway. So it's just running through all of the designs for that gingerbread. Why do we have both of those? Because of the cyan. So this is a good opportunity. So I get to show you it did something that I don't want it to do. So it joined this blue part of the gingerbread along with my wording on here. And I want that to be separate. And so that's when I will go back to the original tab and I'll change the color on one of those so that those 2 don't group. All right. I hope that makes sense. All right. And then we've got the orange. Yeah, so we're good except for that. Let's see here. And then we've got the wording, the bakery, because it will have already done the gingerbread, but I'm going to change that, and then it runs through all the parts of the gingerbread. All right, so it's really close, but it's not exactly what I had planned. So I'm going to go back to this first one, this first tab, where everything's all separate. There are 4 different designs, and I'm going to change the color of my gingerbread wording to something else because it's already got cyan in somewhere else. I'm going to click on this and let's see, I'm going to choose tropical's already there, so don't use tropical. I'm going to use robin's egg and say okay. So you're just using something that isn't already in the design so that when you do a color sort, it will not join the parts that you don't want it to join. All right, so that should be good. Let's try it again. I'm going to go to Utility Color Sort. It'll open a 4th tab for me. And I'm going to say color sort, and now it's reduced it by 4, so it should be right. Let's just check it though. New view. So there's that new tab, and it's made everything into one design. So placement for the batting, tack down for the batting, placement for the main fabric, tack down for the main fabric, and then the first quilting design, the second quilting design. There's the parts of the gingerbread girl. Good, good, good. And then we go into the embroidery on the border block. There's the first word, second word, and then all of the gingerbread parts. So that's perfect. That's what I wanted to happen. Had to do it again to end, which was a great opportunity to show you what I meant when I say go back to that first tab and then just run through those steps again. All right, so this one is great. I'm going to say File, Save Stitch File As. And it's asking you, where do you want this? I have it on my desktop. Let's see. In Ginger's Kitchen right there. And I'm going to save it in my embroidery files, Pez, and I'm going to say 9x14, Ginger Girl, and border 6. Was it 6? Let's see. Border 6. Yep. All right. name it whatever you want to help you find it easily, and then save it to a USB stick, or save it or copy it to a USB stick, or send it to your machine. My machine's off, so I'll have to do that in a moment. So isn't that cute? I really like it. I'm excited to see what you decide to do for your border block. That's your stretch exercise for today. You can do gingerbread bakery like I did, especially if you've made a donation. I will already send that to you. You can do something completely different, whatever works for you, or leave it just as is with some quilting. Either way works great. All right, let's get started. my shirt today. This is one of my favorites. It says ride like a girl, and it's got a black bicycle with flowers. It's such a pretty shirt. I love this one. It was from Embroidery Library, but I think it was like a freebie that I got for buying a bunch of stuff or something. I don't remember exactly. So if I have a link to the design, I'll send it. But I do have a link to the shirt. I love this shirt. This shirt comes, I have it in mint and pink, and I think I've got it in a few colors. It's a great shirt. I think it's like a unisex shirt. So it's a little bit bigger. I get like a small or extra small on mine, so it does run maybe just a little bit bigger, but it's a great shirt to embroider on. It comes in a lot of colors. I'll add a link to my Amazon storefront here. You definitely want to get one of these shirts. They're really good in lots of colors. I like this one. I embroider on a bunch of these. All right, and again, I'll add the information about the design if I have it underneath this video. All right, how are you doing with your goal? I am going to just tell you a little bit for our goal today because I'm actually in a hurry. I had a super full day. I actually hiked 9.5 miles today. Really kicked my bum, but I'm fitting in this video real quick. So today's word is family. So I am actually leaving in the morning. I'm going to go to California and see my grandkids for a few days. I'm very excited, very excited. It's funny because my daughter she's got the craziest busy schedule. She leaves in a few days for Girl Scout camp and then Cub Scout camp, and there's some other camp, and she homeschools her 6 children. It's insane. Her schedule is just insane. So there were these couple of days that I could come and visit, and they're all excited that grandma's coming, and they got a new puppy, and I want my older dog to meet the puppy so that they'll like each other later. So I'm going to do that. So family is really important. So family is difficult too. I'll tell you that. So family can be really difficult. Relationships are hard, right? They're stuff. And I'm not one to, I think that it's important to say things that need to be said. I feel pretty strongly about that. And so I don't really personally believe in holding everything in and enabling bad behavior and all that. So I'll say stuff. I will say, I don't really care for this situation or whatever, and I'll get myself out of there. So family is difficult, all right? But family is also so awesome, right? And it teaches us all of these things that come up. We're learning how to be our best selves, and we're learning how to be in relationships, and some people just aren't there yet. And that's really important to know. I've talked to people in our group that have said that, their family dynamics are super difficult. And I get it. I absolutely get it. I totally understand. But just try not to close yourself off. Don't change yourself so much that you're walking around in a protective bubble. I have done that. I have absolutely done that. I am known for that. I'm really good at this is my protective bubble. I've been hurt and I don't want to get hurt again. And that's a hard place to be because it's not letting others in. And then also it's just making it difficult on forgiveness and all of it's hard. I get it. Family is hard for sure, but love the ones that love you. I think that's really important. So my daughter is phenomenal. My son is phenomenal. I have awesome kids. I'm so thankful for my kids, and they're so excited to see me when I come and visit. And that's just what a blessing, right? Absolute blessing. I'm so very thankful for that. So whatever family dynamics you have, try not to build bitterness, say the things that need to be said, be careful, and just keep your side of the street clean. That's the biggest thing, I think, is if you're doing the right thing, you can't control what other people are doing, and you gotta, let that be, but you work on you, right? And we do our best for our families and for our relationships. And so I'm very excited. I'm going to go see my grandkids. In fact, my daughter sent me this little video of my youngest granddaughter. She's 3, just turned 3 recently. And she, Grandma, could I have a present? Something about, I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was so cute. So I've been making a special little something the last couple nights. So I'm excited to get that done tonight and bring it to go see them all tomorrow morning. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful time with this project. It's a great project to be working on, and I'm going to bring all my stuff and I'm going to work on it there as well. So don't worry, but we will be in the car for 9 hours twice. So on the way there and then on the way back. So you will have some catch up days. But anyway, I'm going to go see my family. I'm excited. I hope that you guys all have that love as well.